실로 주동급자 나중에 굴레 다왔는데 제 주님 강제 벽이 제살하사 최선 뱀이 세계 포모 용네 마트 삼바치 트지 야마 진주를 먹고치 로왕 개나나유 대리 벽이로 니돈 제도 나중에 실로 니돈 이생아 로이 다왔는데 제 주님 뱀이 로왕 개란 셰베 투젠템 두주를 두바이 제고 우주 수교인 제림 담보디 마루 차주 구베토 초미용 창좀 유명지 민중 당신은 주 온데 추버체 다 제림 니바디야 배 작업 쳔베 결루타 작업 결루 비주 배 작업 쳔베 결루 직니 세시베데 고조베데 도대사베 노베나가 대노세 자체 교회에 디레로조제 도제 감소되네 조계 찬세제 만개가와 자제 의과노라에 변조되지마다게 변조주가 숨기주라 니기소 대사배다 제세계배에다 도편조조예 배상리양백기 보시대배라조 대종대주야제이유이 다시나봉도 조외시 나조민배유 예교지 पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे 자된 제배랑 소탕 제벌로 또 남기기 자제 파오 파모 남기 가디 제den지 제도 나제 냥에 고도 까마치 그리슈요 우주나로나 디야 도자 나야들이 저도 쳐.
범위라고 계랑 숨주 뒤에 탱 죽주리 뒤에 제고 가샤기 담셰 멜로 죽주리 두봉기 대리 회기에서 타서 최송 범위트 표조 야마기 섭제라 쇠배 타세데 모개기 레규기시 시자 체외 백괴 중화된 야마기 다뇌오 범위 치다 도면 수주 소 쇼와칸 범위 김딩기 슝간데 포장당데 제수 뇨게 범위 치 예상 전주도 교내 되기 먼저
Is clearly evident under the threat of the striking the consciousness of Chinese national unity. The Chinese government is implementing extensive Sinization policies that is resulting in a gradual amalgamation of Tibetan identity. And the provision of the fundamental cannot be erased and endurance cannot be broken, and an unparalleled leadership of His Holiness the Dalai Lama that cannot be replaced. On this date, 66 years ago, in Tibet's capital Lhasa, Tibetans from all the provinces until they rose up against the illegal occupation of Tibet and China's brutal inhuman policies and practices in Tibet. Under the violent supervision of Chinese forces, over 1 million Tibetans lost their precious lives and compelled the legendary Tibetan government, led by His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama, followed by approximately 80,000 Tibetans into exile. This marks the darkest and the most critical period of the history of Tibet. As we commemorate the Tibetan National Uprising Day, we honor a brave martyrs and express solidarity with our brothers and sisters inside Tibet, who continue to languish under the oppressive Chinese government in the past 66 years and more so today. Under the current Chinese leadership, a deliberate and a dangerous strategy to eliminate the very identity of the Tibetan people as a unique human race. Of Chinese national unity, the Chinese government is implementing extensive in the monasteries with complete denial of freedom of religion, and over 1 million young Tibetan children have been forcibly enrolled in colonial STEM boarding school across Tibet. Under the guise of promoting the national common language, the use of teaching of Tibetan language is severely restricted. The Chinese government unchecked mining, constructions, projects have irrevocably caused extensive damage to Tibet's natural environment. With severe implications far beyond its borders, all these acts and practices of China defy not only international and domestic laws, but even the basic human values. Tibetans nurtured by the far-sighted vision and unwavering championship of His Holiness the Dalai Lama have not harbored hatred or enmity towards the Chinese Communist government that has also occupied our homeland and caused the untimely death of more than 1.2 million Muslims and destruction of over 6,000 monasteries. As we belong to His Holiness, Tibetan people remain committed to the path of non-violence and dialogue, finding a lasting and a mutually beneficial solution to resolve the Sino-Tibet conflict through a very lasting outcome, mutually beneficial solution.
Tibetan government led by His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama followed approximately 80,000 Tibetans into exile. This marks the darkest and the most critical period in the histories of Tibet. As we commemorate the Tibetan National Uprising Day, we honor our brave martyrs and the express solidarity.
Tibetan democracy and the conformity of the Nobel Peace Prize of His Holiness the Dalai Lama briefly highlighted the 3 out of the 4 principal commitments. On this occasion, the Kashangs would like to highlight of His Holiness' 4th commitment, which is to receive the ancient Indian wisdom. After His Holiness the Dalai Lama developed his political powers to the elected leaders, His Holiness began to focus more on his 4 commitments, which have included revival of the ancient Indian wisdom. The revival of the ancient Indian wisdom is not simply reviving a particular religion or religious tradition. Rather, His Holiness considers the importance of balancing external material progress with inner spiritual growth based on Indian quality. This is unmatched in any other language. Approximately 50,000 Indian classical texts have been translated into Tibetan, the result of dedicated efforts by Indian and Tibetan scholars and translators over many centuries. These include the 5 major sciences: grammar, Tibetan medicine, arts, Buddhist logic, and Buddhist philosophy, as well as the 5 minor synergies: poetry, performing arts, lexicography, composition, and mathematics and astrology, comprising 10 fields of knowledge that are not only allowed. The Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, does not seek to propagate Buddhism. The essence of Buddhism is studied in the 3 categories: Buddhist religion, Buddhist philosophy, and Buddhist science.
Since the 1980s, His Holiness has initiated 38 dialogues with modern scientists on the latter two categories. This has significantly influenced science discussions on psychology, human values, neuroscience, and other fields. These dialogues have greatly influenced scientific discussions around the world and enhanced the revival of the ancient Indian wisdom. Established over 355 people, including with 80 works restored from Tibetan defense kit, a 16-volume Tibetan Sanskrit dictionary, a 4-volume medical dictionary, and has trained over 1,000 students from the Himalayan regions. The Dalai Lama Institute for Higher Education in Bangalore provides education in Tibet's cultural studies and various modern
On this date, 66 years ago in Tibet's capital Lhasa, Tibetans formed all three provisions in entirely rose up against the illegal occupation of Tibet and China's brutal inhuman policies and practices in Tibet. Under the violent supervision of Chinese forces, over a million Tibetans lost their precious lives and compelled the legend of Tibet on years and more to today. Under the current Chinese leadership, the even the basic human values. Tibet is nurtured by the far-sighted vision and unwavering championship of the Holiness of the Dalai Lama.
not harbor hatred or animosity toward the Chinese Communist government that occupied our homeland and caused the untimely death of more than 1.2 million Tibetans and destruction of over 6,000 monasteries. As it was the Tibetan people have struggled for freedom and independence. In every corner of the world, Tibetans have their supporters who rise up for Tibet. Stand in solidarity with the Tibetan people to show them that they are all equal. All is support for the cause of freedom. We must stand with the day that serves as a reminder to all, especially the Chinese.
Tibetan government led by His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama followed by approximately 80,000 Tibetans into exile. This marks the darkest and the most critical period in the history of Tibet. As we commemorate the Tibetan National Uprising Day, we honor our brave veterans and express solidarity with our brothers and sisters inside Tibet who continue to languish under the oppressive Chinese government. In these past 66 years, and more so today, under the current Chinese leadership, a deliberate and dangerous strategy to eliminate the very identity of the Tibetan people as a unique human race is clearly evident. Under the pretext of strengthening the consciousness of Chinese national unity, the Chinese government is implementing extensive civilizations policies that is resulting in the gradual annihilation of Tibetans' identity and deprivation of the fundamental human rights of the Tibetan people. Furthermore, under its civilizations campaign, large-scale restrictions are imposed in the monasteries with complete denial of freedom of religion, and over 1 million young Tibetan children have been forcibly enrolled in the colonial-style boarding school across Tibet. Under the guise of promoting the national common language, the use of teaching of Tibetan language is severely restricted.
The Chinese government unchecked mining and construction projects have irrevocably caused extensive damage to Tibet's natural environment with severe implications far beyond its borders. All these acts and practices of China defies not only international and domestic laws but even the basic human values. Tibetans, nurtured by the far-sight-seeing vision of the unwavering compassion of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, have not harbored hatred or anger towards the Chinese Communist government that has occupied our homeland and caused the untimely death of more than 1.2 million Tibetans and destruction of over 6,000 monasteries. As envoiced by His Holiness, Tibetan people remain committed to the path of non-violence and the dialogue in finding a lasting and a mutually beneficial solution. To resolve the Sino-Tibet conflict through the middle way approach, it also reaffirms our confidence that the divisions that cannot be erased, an indomitable spirit that cannot be broken, and an unparalleled leadership of His Holiness the Dalai Lama that cannot be replaced.
அந்த டிராவலர் பார்க்கிங்ல போடுங்க உள்ள பார்க்கிங் பண்ணுங்க
Since the Chinese Communist Party never stopped resisting occupation in the face of government adopts even more advanced technology and uses increasingly brutal tactics to crack down on dissent and new generation of Tibetans whose parents and even grandparents do not remember a life free of Chinese rule are fighting back against all odds. As the CCP attempts to maintain its iron grip over the Tibet, controlling the region's vast resources as well as its people, Tibetan culture, religion and language are being eroded to the point of extinction. And has become a major rally point for the Tibetans to protest around large-scale protest against the Chinese occupation took place around 10 March in the 1980s. And in 2008 as Beijing prepared to host the Summer Olympics. However, the Chinese authorities are growing increasingly intolerant of any form of dissent. As such, many of these peaceful protests are met with a violent response by Chinese police. And occasionally the military even the protesting population are not violent by ensure that the world is not unknown the crimes and human rights abuses in Tibet. As the government's economic capacity grows and the human
아니 덴시멜람 다양하게 토리야 아니 차니 태무 자치 우대나야들의 세메윤대 야츠베마시 냠주도라 보지다고래 예수내시세다로마제 다기데베메 이고시 시시동세 요조도베디 자미양에 벤데베도예 대제계나주베예보나 주주남계자와배와즈 미세레예 모계직바드 시내대가 자주요주 제바가주 주내계조나 나조라네 보지 세메도 예르도베타다 지메게 묘도제베도제 도보게 다드네 니 당보들라야 나라주 될라 아니 캡니 겐디바 망부지 페나샤 나바 참말로리아 투체 수야타 아니 나라주의 총미 인다 톰사안자 안다 두주레니 텐지 싱글라기 나주리야디 장다디 야나와들라 아믹세게 투체 나시 수야이 나주 촉베기 장다디 카시 아레 마르샬
나도 설숨 좋아 여름
제와쇼
야와루 무체
제와쇼
야와루 무체
제와쇼
페란테
장마에
페란테
장마에
도지체나